What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brendan and I'm BMX45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have another in our How to Build series. We're looking again at another deck. We look back at EX7, this time EX11. It's HeavyMetaldramon, our Dark Dragon, Evil Dragon deck, and Yuuki, the main character of the Liberator novel, is the protagonist for this deck. We looked at Vortex Warriors, which is, Shoto, the main character of the comic. But we wanted to look at on Yuuki because we really liked this deck back in EX7. Never really got back into it with the support we got in BT20, but now we're looking at it again because we've got so much more line support for the deck, and I kind of have a feeling, maybe an inkling of where this deck might be going. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're going to be talking about that and talking about what we like about it and how we like this deck in EX11, what we think how we're going to play this deck in EX11. But hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. And let's get right into it here. Of course, we're going to start with the Digi-eggs down at the bottom here. We got Yuuki from EX7 and EX11. The Yuuki from EX7 was when attacking, if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait in the trash. Very, very good card. Really good. For EX11, we have the start of your main phase. This Digimon may digivolve into a Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait card in the trash with the digital cost reduced by 1 if this effect digivolve trash 2 cards in the hand. So this is kind of nice because it doesn't require you to have 4 or less, but it does trash cards from your hand, which is always really good in this deck. And it reduces that at the start of your main phase. So if you get something in the back, you can move up and then go into it. And it's just it doesn't have to be your final form digivolution either. And it is in the trash, so that's always good too. So you just got to have stuff in the trash first. It's not going to work out since you don't trash ahead of time. But yeah, so I think that this one is probably where the deck is going. I think this new one's probably going to be better than this one, especially because it started your main and you don't have to be attacking. So I do kind of like that. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen with the deck. Getting into our rookies here, we have our Impmons. We have our original BT20 Searcher Impmon, which is reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with the Evil, Dark Dragon, or Evil Dragon trait, and 1 Yuuki among them to the hand, return the rest of the bottom of the deck. It'd be nice if you could trash 1 card, but this does add 2 to your hand, so it is kind of iffy in that way. They all have plus 1,000 inheritable, so that doesn't matter, but I definitely think you're going to want to run your Searcher because it does get you 2 pieces. I just wish it would trash something in your hand. You also have the EX7 Imp, which is when this Digimon would digivolve into a Digimon card with the Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon, reduce the digital cost by 1. So we got the reduced cost guy first. Probably still playing at least 2 to 3 copies of this, just because it's good to be able to go into a champion for cost 1. And then we have the new one, which is start your main phase, trash 1 card in your hand, then gain 1 memory. That's good because it does help you get down to that 4 card minimum, while also providing you with more memory to do stuff. He looks like he's constipated. It's hilarious. And so then those probably playing at least a couple copies of this, but we also have the Guillaumon from BT24, which is, it's not an evil trait Digimon, but it is rule. It has the evil trait. My bad. It is evil trait, so it is searchable, but it has the reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Among them, add 1 Evil, Dark Dragon, Evil Dragon, or Dark Knight trait card, or purple Tamer card to the hand, and trash 1 such card. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Then trash 1 card in the hand. So this one, I think this is a better Searcher. I think you're going to play more copies of this over the other Searcher Impmon. It doesn't search a Liberator, because he doesn't search a Liberator card anyways. He's just a trait and a Yuuki. This one gets you 1 or the other, and then you can trash the other, which is all adding to your trash, which is always good. And then it trashes a card from your hand. So I like this guy a little bit better. Inheritable when attacking, delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon, so it gets rid of floodgates. I think this guy's probably the one that's going to see more play. You're probably going to play more copies of this rather of this searcher, and then kind of like, you know, maybe like 3 copies of each of these, somewhere in there, maybe, you know, 3 or 4, and maybe less of this guy, but somewhere in there for the rookie count. And then we also have our level 4s. We'll start with the Punkmons here. So, of course, you have the Punkmon. All of them have plus 2,000 inheritable. You have the Punkmon that if you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you may play a Yuuki from your hand to pay the cost. Still think you're going to play this potentially. Maybe not as much because the new Growlmon for BT24, which is Dark Dragon, so it's also support for the deck. Same inheritable, delete one of your opponent's level 3 or Digimon when attacking, and then on play when digivolving. If you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, you may play 1 purple Tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your trash without paying the cost. So this guy's nice because you can set this up really easily. Put a Yuuki in the trash, say with the Guillemon ability, and then when digivolve or even on play this, which is always nice. So I think you're going to have a combination of this and this to play your Tamer. You know, maybe like 3 copies of this, 3 copies of this, somewhere in there, and then you're going to finish it off with the other Punkmons, which you have this one, the new one, which is when attacking, trash 2 cards in your hand. Then this Digimon may digivolve into a Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait in the trash for the digivolution cost reduced by 2, so you can get up to your level 5 really nice and easily just by attacking for 1 cost. And then you also have this Punkmon from BT20, on play when digivolving, trash 1 card in your hand. Then until the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent's Digimon gain blocker and retail. That's not, you know, blocker and retail is not a super good ability. Like, blocker and retail are so easy to get over now in this format. I feel like this is just not strong enough in the game. I feel like you're probably less likely to play this than you are to the EX11 one. You know, you're probably going to play 4 copies of this. And then the Skysmon Scour mode, you might still play this card. On play, trash 1 card in your hand. Then you may return 1 Digimon card with Evil, Dark Dragon, or Evil Dragon trash to your hand. It's got inheritable retaliation, which is a little bit better than just giving your Digimon retaliation for the turn. So, I mean, I think this actually has better synergy in the deck than the BT20 Punkmon. I don't know if you're going to see play, but it is another option. Again, I'm more looking towards, like I said, like maybe like 3 of each of these and 4 Punkmon kind of being the overall, like, you know, what people are going to be looking for. Getting into our Loudramons and our other level 5s. They all have the same inheritable, while this card's a Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon, and you have 4 fewer cards in your hand, they gain security attack plus 1. And then, so we have the BT20 guy, which was on play when digivolving, trash 2 cards in your hand. Then for the turn, 1 of your Digimon gains Raider, Piercing, and plus 4,000. That's still a decent ability. I do kind of like that. You got the original one, which was trash 2 cards in your hand on play when digivolving. Then delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon with 7,000 DP or less. Yeah, it's still not bad either. And then we have the new one, which is on play when digivolving, trash 2 cards in your hand, then delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as 1 of your Digimon with a Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait. All turns when you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, all of your Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon Digimon gain Scapegoat. I like that this trashes 2 cards in the hand, but all of their abilities trash 2 cards in the hand, and I just don't know if this is it. I mean, I guess it's better than, because, like, if you have DP buffs, it deletes something with as much or less DP as one of your Digimon. So I do kind of like that, and you get the added benefit of Scapegoat. So I would say we would play this over the one that just hits 7,000 DP, because you're going to hit 7,000 DP anyway with this ability, or less. So I think probably you're going to be running BT20 and EX11, or also you have the War Growlmon, which has the Dark Dragon trait as well. Trash main if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand. Play this card with a play cost reduced by 2. So you can play this card for 5 straight from your trash if you have 4 or fewer cards during the main. On play, when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, so it just destroys something. And then on deletion, inheritable, you may play one level 4 lower Dark Dragon, Evil Dragon, create Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost, so it floats. Floating is always nice. Of course, getting into our HeavyMetaldramon, we'll start with EX7. The original was trash 2 cards in your hand, then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. End of your turn, once per turn, you may play a 1 card with the Evil Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait with a play cost of 8 or less from your trash without paying the cost. For each card in your hand, remove 1 from this card's play cost maximum. So if you have 4 cards, which is kind of what you want to do with this deck, you're only playing a 4 cost. If you have less than 4 cards, you can play up, to an 8 cost card. So yeah, there's that. This one was a pretty good card. You also had the Blast. The Ace, the Blast Digivolution one we got from BT20. On play, when digivolving, trash 1 card in your hand until it has 4 left. So it's nice because it always gets you down to 4. And then play 1 8,000 DP or lower Digimon card from your trash. For each card this effect trash, remove 2,000 from this effect's DP maximum. So again, if you had trash a bunch of cards, you're playing a weaker monster. All turns, all of your Digimon Dark Dragon, Evil Dragon trait Digimon gain Rush and Blocker, and then get plus 2,000 DP. I still see value in this card just because of giving your board Rush is really good, especially when you play something. So like if you had already attacked and you need an extra swing, he can play you the last body and then give it Rush as long as you can summon one of your level 4s or higher. Which, they're 6,000 DP, so you got to watch out for that. So I do like potential, and ace targets are always really good in the deck because then your opponent's maybe not suspecting them. We do have the new HeavyMetaldramon, of course, which is on play when dissolving and end of attack, which is not once per turn. Trash 2 cards in your hand and delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. And then if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, you may play 1 level 5 or lower Evil Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait Digimon card from your trash for paying the cost. And that doesn't get reduced for anything. You just got to have 4. So that's really nice, especially since you trash 2 when that activate this ability. And like I said, it's on play when dissolving and end of attack. So when you attack with it, you get to use it again. All turns once per turn, when any of your Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait Digimon would leave the battle area. If you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, trash your opponent's top security card. So yeah, allows you to just trash your opponent's top security when it dies. And then if you have some form, like any forms of protection too, that's good too. Yeah. So we're liking the new one. We're thinking the new one's going to be the way to go. Just because it still does, it still destroys stuff. It plays out for free, at least a level 5 from the trash, or lower. So that's good. And then just helps get more bodies on the board, which is kind of what this deck is about, is massive destruction while adding support to the board. Especially if you can get like Rush on your guys too. So that's really, really good. So I think we're probably going to be playing less of this HeavyMetaldramon and more of this, probably maxing out on this, and then maybe playing a couple ace copies. We also have the Megidramon, which is a decent target, as it is, again, a Evil Dragon trash. End of your turn if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand. One of your Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait Digimon can digital to this card without paying the cost. So this is good because, when you play a free card off the HeavyMetaldramon, you can then end of your turn use that ability. It's got blocker, it's got on play, when digivolving, on deletion, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So it just puts pressure on your opponent when you have this and gets you bigger monsters for free. And then we also looked at Nidhogg's, because Nidhogg's are stuff like, trash main. If you have 4 or fewer hands, you may play this card with play cost reduced by 4. This guy's not as good as he used to be, honestly. It's got on deletion, you may play a level 5 or lower card with the Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait for your trash, so paying the cost. It's still expensive to go into him. I like this Nidhogg better just because you're trashing cards, so it gains you memory. So I think this is good potentially to have just in your hand, just to trash, just to gain memory, just to extend your plays. but I don't necessarily know about EX7. I don't think it really needs to see play. And then, of course, we got our Yuukis. We have the original Yuuki. If you have 2 or less memory, set it. Or sorry, that's not the original. That's the BT20 version. Set it to 3. End of your turn. If you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, by suspending this Tamer, one of your Digimon with a Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait attacks the player. So it lets you attack during the end phase. We also have the original Yuuki from EX7, which was if your opponent has a Digimon gain a memory, starting your main. And then main, if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, by suspending this Tamer, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait in the trash. So this one's still good because it just lets you Digivolve in the trash. You do have to pay the cost, but just being able to just do that as long as you can have 4 or fewer cards is pretty good. And then the new Yuuki, which is start your main phase on play by trashing 1 card in your hand, which is going to be really good because it helps you get to your, your 4 card minimum. Gain 1 memory, so gain some memory for that. And then your turn once per turn when one of your Digimon attacks, if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, you may Digivolve into a Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait Digimon card in the trash with the digivolution cost reduced by 1. And then end of all turns, if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, by suspending this Tamer, you may return 1 Evil Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait card from your trash to your hand. So you can suspend it end of turn to add pieces to your hand to complete plays, which is always good. The nice thing about this is you don't have to suspend it to use it once per turn when Digivolving. I mean, this one here lets you just Digivolve, whereas this one you have to be attacking, but this one does reduce the cost. So I think like somewhere in, there's like a happy medium of like maybe a couple copies of this, and maybe like a copy of this, just so that you have that ability to attack during the end phase. Of course, we also have the new unique emblems, the 2 cost unique emblems that we're getting for the novel characters, which is more of a searcher card, which reveals top 3, adds 1 of your pieces to your hand, and 1 liberator card. So this is the searcher we never got for the deck. And then return the rest of the bottom, then place the card in the battle area. Again, it gets you 2 pieces, so it kind of doesn't help you maintain your 4 card minimum for your 4 card maximum really for all your effects to activate. So that's kind of dangerous right there. Your turn when any of your Yukis are played, delay by trashing this card, you can activate its delay effect, which is 1 of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 6 or lower liberator trait card in the hand with a digivolution cost reduced by 3. So this is pretty good. The roost cost is always really good, especially if we ever get a level 7 for this deck. It's not good in the sense that, and if you play the Growlmon, Guillaumon stuff, none of that stuff is liberator. So this is specifically liberator, so it doesn't help you unless you have the right line support. So I could see playing a couple copies of this just because it's a good searcher card. I don't know if we'd max out just because it does add 2 pieces to your hand. And I mean, those are the pieces for the deck. Of course, there is more stuff. You're going to have options. You're going to have potentially, scrambles and other things like that. You might even play because everything's like mostly red in this deck, red, purple. You might even play I can't even think of it right now. Gravity Crush, just to gain memory. There's a lot of different options for this deck, but you do have a lot of stuff, and you do have like the security attack +1 off the Loudmon and stuff like that, and you do have the ability to play more bodies more consistently in this deck, which is kind of why I'm leaning towards this as my purple deck for the format instead of playing Necromon. This time it'd be nice when we start getting level 7s for the novel characters, if that is the plan. I'm personally thinking in my brain, because of this line that is not directly liberator support, but it goes with the deck, I'm wondering if, kind of like how Shoto has Muchomon as like a secondary like Digimon pal in the series. They might do the same thing with Yuuki. Maybe she meets a Guillaumon, and that would be cool because it would be like reminiscent of Tamer's, having an Impmon and a Guillaumon as your kind of partner Digimon. And I'm really hoping we get a really cool Chaos Gallantmon card, because they always do this with the Megidramon, that its name is also treated as Chaos Gallantmon. I'm hoping and they specifically mention in these abilities, not here, but in in the Guillemon the Dark Knight trait card. So I feel like we could be getting a Dark Knight trait card, kind of like how Shoto has Medieval Gallantmon. Maybe Yuuki will get a Chaos Gallantmon card like he did at some point. That would be really, really cool. And I think that would really make this deck even better, especially if it was like a red-purple Chaos Gallantmon card. And then potentially to see a level 7 too would also be really nice. I'm not sure where that's going with the deck because Chaos Gallantmon traditionally is a level 6. But I think that would be really cool for the deck, getting a Chaos Gallantmon card and kind of incorporating Guillemon into the story as a kind of secondary partner. Would be very cool. But we'll have to wait and see what they do. That's just my thoughts, fan fiction, you could call it. But tell me what you guys think about all this. Do you think maybe that's where the deck's going? What do you think about this deck in EX11? Do you think it's got the legs that some of the other Liberator decks have? I think it's got a really decent amount of support, and I think they're, with options and other things like that and other tech cards in there, it could do very, very well. But let me know what you guys think down below. Looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you in the next video. And as always, have a wonderful day. That's all for now, folks.